What's up, guys? This is Courtney, one half of the Brothers of Deconstruction.
And on the other half of the screen, you have the Bruce.
And we are bringing you our review slash discussion of Black Panther. I know that we disappear for long periods of time in between videos. We're both busy slash lazy. And
like I said, that my next solo video is going to be me reviewing that VHS of Mystic Knights. And it's not lazy. It's just I just don't want to sit down and talk about that show.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. But yeah, so I actually saw the movie for a second time today. And I was going to come home and do a review on my own, but Bruce wanted to jump in. He wanted to talk about it. So again, hopefully this video isn't super long, but we're basically going to be, it won't even really be a review. It's going to really be more of a discussion. Because I think that's what my video was going to be anyway. It's just going to be like a discussion on why Killmonger is my favorite villain. But yeah, so I guess we can get the review portion out of the way first. The movie is really good. It's not perfect, but it is definitely top 5 Marvel MCU films for me.
To me,
it's definitely the best origin movie since Iron Man.
I was literally just about to say that. Out for origin movies, this is especially since they started like so. Spider-Man and Black Panther both got their start in Civil War, and then their movies was basically them taking over. But the difference between Homecoming and this to me is that they built up the world around him way better. Because one of the things that I loved about this movie is that it's in the MCU and there are callbacks to it, but it feels completely isolated from it.
Which it should.
Because which is the Wakandan way.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it basically was like, okay, you know about everything that's going on around here. Forget all that. Just concentrate on this. And it really makes you concentrate on what's going on in the movie.
Yeah. It's a really good movie. I like that it was still like, hey, yeah, we're still connected to everything else because it takes place a week after Civil War ends. It takes place over the course of a couple of days, I would say. I think there are some transitions where it's like more than just one day, but I'm gonna say that it takes place over the course of like 2, maybe 3 days. But it takes place a week after Civil War. And it was like, hey, yeah, this happened, but this is what we're focusing on. And so I really like that about the movie. Things that I didn't like, CGI in the third act. Some of the CGI is really noticeable. It doesn't take you out of the movie. I think the only thing that maybe takes you out of the movie, and I noticed it, and these 2 chicks that were in my screening Friday when I saw it, these 2 chicks that were kind of talking through the movie. One of them mentioned it, but there's that one point where, and of course, this is my obligatory spoiler warning, but you guys should know that already. One of the moments where T'Challa is talking to T'Chaka for the second time in the ancestral plane, Chadwick Boseman is standing up against a green screen, and it's really noticeable. Like the background is like stiff, and Chadwick is acting his ass off. That's what makes it really noticeable because he's like really, really delivering his lines, and it's something off about the background. And then in my second viewing, I noticed that it's the lighting as well. Like, I don't know what it is about green screens. This is the same thing in Ragnarok when they were looking over Norway. But the lighting gives away a green screen because it doesn't look natural. And when you saw it, it was like, something's going on with this. And one of the girls was like, this background was weird.
See, I didn't notice that because what I've started doing when I go to movies was where I sit in the theater puts me at an angle. So basically, it just blends everything from the angle I'm looking in. So I've noticed some of the stuff with like the green screen, but it was just basically obvious green screen stuff.
Yeah.
But with that, it was just like I didn't really notice that. But And people who watch this, if you know us, know our history, and there was just entirely too much pollen in that movie theater for me.
There
Like,
was
walk,
my allergies were going haywire. I don't know how the government allows movie theaters to pump um, this infectious uh, disease into movie theaters to
yeah,
attack us like this. But yeah, the pollen in this movie and the allergies and the sinus problems that I had were out of control, man.
like they do the good whole duality, like with both sides of the fence. They tackle the father-son relationship very, very well.
Yeah, on
Like
both.
the
Yeah,
guy, and with the whole black culture thing, you got the guy whose father raised him, and the guy who did not have his father. You can see,
yeah,
like some of the stuff, like was the heavy-handed, the Black Power stuff. Some of that was heavy-handed, but that one was one of the things I don't think people really focused on: the duality of a father in a home and a father not, like being raised without your father.
yeah. I think that's a yeah. Now that you say that, that's one thing that people are probably going to overlook.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, and the funny thing about this is that it wasn't. It's the subject matter for Killmonger, and like the thing that him and Jobu represent. It's very uh, preachy, but it doesn't come off that way in the movie because it's like, hey, we know that Europeans settled and colonized other countries and they stole a bunch of shit. They fucking unleashed diseases on different, you know, people and things like that. But at the same time, it's like, hey, clearly he didn't. The one thing that I liked, and I was talking to one of my friends about, is that I like the flawed nature of Eric because he was like, look, I'm gonna use their tactics against them. But then it was like you didn't study enough because you know that this can't work. But I think he was driven by vengeance. So I think that's why I like him and that's why he's my favorite villain. Because he has a point, but it's like your approach is really, really not what needs to be done. But I get what you're saying. But I more so latched on to his anger about everything, and I attribute that to Michael B. Jordan's performance.
Yeah,
Um, but his anger about his father being killed, taken away from him, and everything like that, and them being and him finding out, hey, there's this country that's basically one of the richest or the richest country ever, and has this resource that can help people. They didn't come over here and help, but you guys killed my dad because he was trying to, do all this other stuff. Yeah, I can get why he's angry. But at the same time, both him and his father were flawed in their reasoning. Like, don't give people weapons and tell them to liberate themselves because one, and I think this was a really interesting story that could be told, maybe not necessarily in a sequel. Obviously, Killmonger is dead. But I think the one interesting story was that what if he had succeeded? He has to worry about people turning on each other, which is definitely going to happen because humans are going to human. And he has to worry about those people that he gave the weapons to completely doing something that he did not intend for them to do. Like turning against each other, he doesn't intend for them to do. But then it's like, oh yeah, go kill the oppressors and the children and then rise up and then we rule everything. And then
yeah.
it's
Like
like,
look how easily some of the people turned on T'Challa.
yeah.
Like,
But and it's like, yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but in that sense, what if they don't do that? What if it's like, oh no, we're gonna go kill these other poor people? But yeah, I really like this characterization and his flawedness because he, and again, both of them didn't completely think it through, and I think that was them being so radical and everything like that. But
yeah,
at the essence, like it was his anger that drove everything, and it was him wanting to complete his father's mission that was driving him. And so I think, again, like you said, that was a good duality because on one side you have Eric wanting to do this and kind of maybe whether or not they meant it that way, that's how I took it. Him wanting to complete the same mission that his father got killed for. And then on the other end, you have T'Challa, who wants to be a great king, like he thought T'Chaka was. And then he finds out, oh damn, maybe he wasn't such a great king if he killed his brother and abandoned his son there to maintain the lie. Like, what person does that? So I think the movie has a lot of layers.
Yeah.
And you can go a lot of different ways in the discussion with it. But yeah, Killmonger is hands down my best villain just because of that conviction. It's like, look, he was loud and he was wrong, but it was like, you know what? He's crazy enough to do anything necessary to enact his mission. Like, at one point, he even kills his girlfriend. And it's like, because Claw had her hostage, he's like, well, all right, now she's out of the way. Now I can keep going after Claw. That's not a person, and I still think T'Challa is an idiot for accepting that challenge. Like, you find out this information about him, and you find out, hey, he has, this many amount of confirmed kills and this and that, and he's basically done this. Like, even if he didn't hear the information that Shuri relayed about his background being Navy SEAL and being a mercenary and things like that, as soon as he would have took his shirt off, and then he was saying, I got a mark on my body for each kill, and I've been doing all this just to kill, like, I've killed people that look like us on this very continent, just so I can kill you. I'd have been like, you know what? Let's go ahead and cancel this. Get him the fuck out of here, because there's no possible ending where this is good. So let's just go ahead and talk this out.
On the other hand to that, I can actually look at that and see, like, I want to right a wrong my father created for my peace of mind. Now I can see that, but then again, to agree with you, it was very stupid of him to take that challenge.
Yeah, it was like, look, yeah, we can handle this some other way. We don't have to go through this ritual. Maybe, like, you can't have the throne, but maybe you can be an advisor or something like that. It's like, cause look, I don't want any parts of this. And then, just like we saw in the movie, and just like it was in the comics, he gets his ass thrown off a waterfall. He gets thoroughly served, then thrown off a waterfall, and then they want to hide. They want to pull Queen Ramonda out the way because shit started going south. And it was like, yeah, all right then. But
now, for me, my biggest takeaway from this is how amazing the acting was in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, Winter Soldier, to me, was the best acted Marvel movie. And this is eclipsed it. Ryan Coogler got the best out of everybody who appeared on that screen. Yeah. Even the people who didn't say shit.
Yeah.
Was just, like, I noticed way too many people in the background because they were backgrounding their asses off.
Yeah.
I was just like, because most of the actors I've seen, like, watching British television, I was like, hey, I know that guy. Or just watching all this, I was like, hey, I know her, and so on and so forth. But just looking, I was like, this dude didn't say one word, and you can feel his presence.
Yeah. A
little bit more than some people who are talking. And I'm like, you're getting the best out of your audience.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a superbly acted film. Although the accents are pretty terrible, which is hilarious because a lot of the British actors have it makes sense. Britain colonized Africa, so a lot of them are probably going to have British accents because their parents moved to Britain. But like, a lot of the British actors in the movie have African parents, but some of the accents are a little wonky. Like, I actually mentioned this on Twitter earlier when I was talking about this. Like, Chadwick Boseman's accent changes from Civil War to the teaser trailer of Black Panther to the actual movie. His accent changes. It's different. I guarantee you, and it's noticeable. And it's like, wait, all right. That's okay. Like, I'll say this. I'll say the American actors who had to pull off African accents, those are the accents that you notice. The British actors who are of African descent, who have African parents, they pulled off those accents a whole lot better. But beyond that, that portion of the acting, it was really well acted. Um, so yeah, this movie is easily going to cross $1 billion, which it
Yeah.
should.
But
Um,
I think most of that isn't for the right reasons. Like, because we've been talking about this.
Of course not. But I mean, at this point, like after seeing that it's a good movie, I'm like, look, whatever the audience needs to do to make sure this gets to $1 billion, you can think that this is the best movie, the best black ensemble movie ever. Like if that's gonna get you to see it multiple times and it crosses $1 billion, hey, that's fine with me. Like we can debate technical and philosophical movie stuff later. Like let's go ahead and get this movie to $1 billion first, and then argue about everything later. But yeah, I definitely think that some people aren't seeing it because it's a comic book movie. I mean, which is fine. I think it's not that serious, but that's a completely different discussion for another day, at least to me.
Yeah. And I don't think people are seeing it because they're going to be entertained. That's my biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
What shit that I've seen, like what I saw leaving the theater, which we'll probably talk about in another video.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But the shit that I saw leaving the theater and the videos, the shit that I saw of people going to see the movie, I don't think you're going there to be entertained.
Yeah.
But I was thoroughly entertained.
Yeah. And
I saw it early, so it's $8 well spent.
Yeah. You're not gonna get into my showings. As far as like spending money and everything like that. One thing that I don't think people are realizing too is that this movie changes a lot of things going forward, and people don't really realize that. Like the first after credit scene is basically T'Challa addressing the United Nations in Vienna, and he basically says, "Hey, Wakanda is going to lend its its information and our resources to the rest of the world. Like we're going to, build bridges and come together like we're supposed to, like as if we were one tribe." That changes everything going forward because now I think not. When I saw the Infinity War trailer, I thought it, but then I saw somebody else theorize it as well, and so I'm doubling down on it. But with T'Challa basically saying, "Hey, we're going to lend our information, our tech, our resources to the world." T'Challa, Shuri designed the bleeding edge armor before Tony got it, so I think Tony's bleeding edge armor in Infinity War is gonna be he's gonna pick some of that information up from Shuri, and just obviously they're gonna build Bucky a new arm.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be most definitely vibranium. And I think this just changes everything moving forward because then it's like, well, now that people know Wakanda is Wakanda, you're gonna have a whole lot more people trying to get vibranium.
Yeah.
And not legally. They're going to be trying to steal it. So you're gonna have which is when it comes to being diplomatic, you have these type of problems when you start like, hey, I'm gonna share my information with you. Once everybody knows that, it's like, oh, so you guys got this. All right, cool. Let's go over there and take some of that. Like it happens when countries start sharing information. Like other people come in and it's like, nah, let me just go ahead and lift some of this off you guys real quick. But you're gonna have more. You're gonna try. There are probably gonna be people who try to invade Wakanda. They're gonna fail, obviously. But like the religious aspect and everything like that we were talking about, and he was like, I hope they tie some of that mysticism and everything like that into Doctor Strange. And I was like, that opens up another door because if you get like the spirituality and the religious factor in, but you still leave some of that mysticism and some of that unknown stuff in there, and you tie that into like the magic and all that stuff of Doctor Strange. What if Dormammu tries to possess a Wakandan to have a human form to walk the Earth, or to open a portal so he can get to Earth, or Shumagora? to come to Earth, something like that, or fucking Mephisto, who Al Pacino should play. I'm still on the boat that Al Pacino should play Mephisto. I said that in 2015. I'm still riding with it. But it's like this opens up doors, and even one of the Black Panther villains, Chibi, he sold his soul to Mephisto.
We're all trailing off, but yeah, good movie.
Yeah, it's just overall a lot of things changes going forward with the film. But yeah, it's definitely good. The fight scenes were really the action sequences were choreographed really well, because there's a really good car chase sequence. I still think Winter Soldier has the best car chase sequence, but the car chase sequence in Black Panther was pretty good.
It takes like the car chases in Black Panther to me are the sibling to the car chases in Civil War. Like, it just feels exactly the same.
Oh, Winter Soldier, you mean?
No, Civil War.
Civil War had a car chase?
Yeah, when they were chasing Bucky, and he stole the motorcycle.
Oh yeah, that's right. That doesn't even seem like a car chase, but it was. You're right. You're right.
It's like it's a sibling to it, because it's like the same stakes.
Yeah.
Like foreign country.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It's the exact same stakes. You got somebody that needs to be captured getting away, and he's being chased down by any means in the vehicles. You're absolutely right. Wow, I didn't even see that parallel.
And one of the things that I love with Civil War, well, no, it goes back to Age of Ultron with Claw. You know who he is, and you know what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And then the introduction into Civil War, it's like okay, it's progressing it. And then it's a Black Panther. You don't really need to establish, like, you know why they need to capture him, without even saying, hey, having dude say my parents died in his attack. Yeah. You know why he violated their laws. Right. And he's like the one person out there was like, yeah, I've been to Wakanda. I know what's going on. It was like an outsider came in, murdered Wakandans, and then went out. It's just like, how angry did they get in Civil War for just a couple dying in an attack?
Yeah.
One being killed on their soil, and then getting away. Like, going all the way back to Age of Ultron, they established why he is an important figure to be captured by the Wakandans. And with that, that is the Brothers of Deconstruction Black Panther Plus review.
Yeah. And again, this is like more of a discussion, so this is probably going to be long again. Yeah. But it's a discussion, so I guess that's okay. This is our discussion. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be getting some more videos up soon. I'm going to try to knock out some extra videos today or tonight, maybe going into tomorrow. I was trying to find some stuff to do for like a skit or another like super old review or something like that. Just haven't really figured anything out yet, but hopefully we'll start cranking out videos like weekly or bi-weekly or something like that. Just so we can get a lot more content up. And then closing in onto PMC, of course, we're going to do some stuff for that. I don't know if we're going to do I'm going to do another video diary or kind of walk the floor and get footage from that. But we're going to definitely do some more Power Ranger related videos leading up to PMC. And yeah, the idea is that we're going to start getting more content out so we can start building the channel more. But yeah, so until then, we just got to find some time to start looking up stuff and start actually working stuff out and things like that. So, yeah.
With that said, we don't know when our next collaboration video will be, but we're going to probably start pushing forward with one of our collab series that can take up the majority of building content for this channel.
Yeah.
So, we're going to workshop and then start getting more material out.
Yeah. And I'm glad we're about to end too, because it looks like I'm losing the light. I look like Malekith.
So we are out. Thank you for watching the video.